everyone. So for today, I'm going to discuss about the 6 dimensions of school-based management. But before I move on with those dimensions, let us define first what is school-based management. So school-based management has been defined as the process of decentralization in the school system, which primarily aims to address immediate needs for improvement of the school. So you notice that there is a word decentralization. So what does that mean? So decentralization is the process of transferring significant decision making authority from state and district offices to individual schools. So, what is the purpose of school-based management? So, we have different purpose. So, first is it empowers every school to continuously improve its performance and attaining desired outcomes for students. Next is it engage stakeholders in shared decision making. So this involves the internal and the external stakeholders in their decision making. Next is it lead the school staff together with other stakeholders in identifying and addressing school issues and concerns that affect student outcomes. Next is it creates support network of community-based stakeholders that will mobilize social, political, cultural, and economical resources. And the last one is it makes stakeholders accountable for school performance and student outcomes. Now, let us move on to the 6 dimensions of school-based management. So, we have the first one, the school leadership. So, in every school, we all know that it must be led by a school head. So, the school head is expected to provide a strong, dynamic, innovative, and competent leadership in promoting and sustaining quality education. So, basically, the success of the school based management depends on how the school head leads the institution, especially during decision making. So, it is at this point where the school head, being the school manager, is tasked to exert effort in gathering support from the internal and the external stakeholders to work as a team for the welfare of the learners of that institution. Next is the internal stakeholders. So, internal stakeholders are the school heads, teachers, students, and parents of students and their associations who directly work for the improvement of school performance. So, the internal stakeholders are the members involved inside the school. So, the internal stakeholders inputs about the school strengths, weaknesses, threats, and opportunities are necessary in the agenda and plan for the school improvement. So if we have the internal stakeholders, we also have the external stakeholders. So external stakeholders are composed of the community members, people from non-governmental organization what we call the NGOs, and the local government officials who have a stake in the education of the children. So the participation of the external stakeholders in strategic planning for school development and achievement of learning outcomes is crucial or important. So they should be active in the tracking or monitoring and assessment of learning outcomes in addition to assisting in the development of additional resources for the formulation and implementation of the school improvement plan. So next is the school improvement process. From the word itself, process, so the school improvement process puts in a place a continuing systematic method of upgrading the delivery of educational services at the school level. So, school improvement process entails assessing the needs of the school, developing a plan, and putting the plan into effect. So it calls for a system to ensure that everybody has access to high quality education. So it also includes assessing and contrasting one's own practices with those of other school based management practitioners in the country. Next is we have the resource management. So, allocating, sourcing, and managing resources is a major dimension of SBM because without the resource management, the school couldn't operate. So, resources, some of the resources could be human, the materials, and financial, which is, as I've said, are necessary for the school operation. So, with plenty to do but very few resources, resource generation, careful allocation, and utilization are important. So the general appropriations fund, the regular maintenance, and other operating expenses, local government allocation, special education fund, the community contributions, grants, and other income generating projects can all be used to fund schools. So we have the sixth one and the last one, performance accountability. So the school heads periodic reporting to stakeholders of school performance, especially the learning outcomes of students, is crucial or imperative. So communicating the school's actual situation, such as learning outcomes, financial status, issues, and concerns, would generate more support for the school improvement plan from external stakeholders. So, as a result, the school principal or the school head is expected to communicate with external stakeholders in order for them to know what assistance they can provide. So, that's it for my report. I hope you learned something from it and thank you for listening.